the scribe came upon a tomb unlike the rest. It was small, unadorned, and swallowed by ivy. No sign of name, no trace of symbol. Just a smooth, rose-gray stone that seemed to pulse faintly, like a heart remembering how to beat. The scribe knelt. He placed his hand upon the stone and closed his eyes. Nothing. He waited. The wind stirred. Somewhere in the garden, a single bellflower shivered, releasing a drop of dew that fell like a tear. Then, faintly, almost imperceptibly, a sound rose from the earth below. A hum. Low, wordless, ancient, like the world's first lullaby. The scribe felt his own pulse fall in rhythm with it. His thoughts grew slow, his breath thin. He did not write. He simply listened. It was not a name he heard, but a memory, the memory of all things unnamed. The wind through the first cradle, the sigh of the last dying flame, the sound of footsteps in a place that never existed. And as he listened, tears welled in his eyes. They were not his own. They belonged to the garden, to the centuries of silence, to the countless stories that never found a voice. When the sound faded, the scribe wrote nothing. Instead, he placed his scroll beside the tomb and for the first time fell asleep among the names. See, the fade into silence. When the garden closed its eyes by dawn, the fireflies were gone. Only the dew remained, glimmering faintly on the grass, as if the stars had descended and forgotten to leave. The sun's first light brushed against the stones, revealing the faint outline of the scribe's scroll now unbound, its thread undone. The pages fluttered in the morning wind. Each was blank, no ink, no words, no record of the night's work. It is said that when the monks discovered the garden later that day, they found no sign of the young scribe. Only a faint impression in the grass where he had once knelt, and the scent of rain where no rain had fallen. The garden, too, had changed. The vines had bloomed with unfamiliar flowers, pale, translucent, trembling with morning light. On each petal shimmered a pattern, almost like letters, but not quite symbols that seemed to breathe. Some said they were the names he had restored. Others said they were the garden's dreams, unfolding at last. And in the soft air of dawn, beneath the hush of waking birds, a whisper lingered, a voice both near and far. Every name, once forgotten, still waits to be remembered by the night. Time passed. The monastery fell to ruin. Sand filled the hallways, and the bells no longer rang. But the garden, they say, still breathes. Travelers who find it speak of strange lights hovering above the ground, of a warmth that seeps into their bones as they sleep among the stones. Some awake with a single word on their lips, a name they have never heard before, yet somehow remember as their own. Others leave in silence, changed, unable to say why. And always, the air hums with the same soft pulse, the rhythm of names returning, the steady heartbeat of remembering. Perhaps the scribe still walks there, unseen, tending to the silence, gathering the words that slip between dreams and dawn. Or perhaps the garden no longer needs him. Perhaps it learned to whisper for itself, in the language of petals, wind, and moonlight. Whatever truth lies buried there, it does not wish to be uncovered. It only wishes to be felt the way the night feels the stars, or how the earth remembers the sound of rain. It is said that if you ever find yourself standing in that garden, lost, half awake, your breath mingling with the mist, and you whisper a name into the air, it will not vanish. It will rise, trembling, glowing faintly, joining the unseen choir above. And as you close your eyes, you may feel something gentle press against your heart, a touch like falling leaves, or the memory of someone long gone, and you will understand. Nothing truly disappears. Every name, every dream, every silence waits for the moment it will be spoken again. And in that moment, the garden will open its petals, and the night will remember you. Soft fade, breath slows, the sound of wind through vines. The whisper returns, almost inaudible. Still waits to be remembered by the night. It is said that in the far north, beyond the reach of maps and memory, there lies a field of frozen silence. No wind speaks there. No bird crosses its endless white. Even the stars seem to hang lower, dimmer, as though they too are listening for something. Travelers once told of a gate hidden within this vast stillness, not a gate of stone, nor of iron, but of light itself. A shimmering arch that appeared only when the sky awakened, when the heavens unfurled their veils of color, and the aurora wept softly across the night. The elders called it the luminous threshold. Others named it the gate of remembering, and some simply whispered that it was where the earth breathed into, the stars. No one claimed to have passed through. Those who came near spoke of strange feelings of being both seen and forgotten, of hearing voices that might have been their own, calling from a time before birth. It was in this frozen quiet that a solitary wanderer arrived, walking without destination, guided by something older than reason. He carried no map, no fire, no name carved into his tongue. Only the sound of his footsteps, soft, hollow, rhythmic, the only heartbeat left in a land made of sleep. Beneath his boots, the snow gave way with a sigh. Above him, the heavens shimmered faintly, the first brushstroke of green and violet beginning to stir in the sky. The world seemed to wait, and in that waiting, the story began. B. The deepening mystery, the wanderer and the sky that remembered. Some believe the wanderer had once been a scholar, a keeper of forgotten texts. Others say he was a dreamer who walked out of his own sleep, following a thread of light that called his name through the frost. But in truth, he was neither. He was simply a listener. For in the Arctic, the world does not speak in sound, but in rhythm, the soft shifting of ice beneath itself, the faint crack of light moving through frozen air, the sigh of ancient glaciers dreaming of oceans they once knew. The wanderer felt these things not with his ears, but with his bones. Each vibration hummed through him, pulling him forward toward something vast, unseen, inevitable. He walked for what might have been hours or centuries. Time there had no spine, no measure. The sun had long forgotten to rise. The moon drifted between horizons like a tired thought. And then, the sky began to move. Not in the way skies usually move, not with clouds or storms, but with color. Bands of green unfurled like silk, waves of violet shimmered like breath upon glass, and from the edges of the horizon came a deep, soundless hum, the song of light finding its voice. The wanderer stopped. Before him, where moments ago there had been only emptiness, there now shimmered something impossible. An arch, vast, silent, living. It rose from the snow as though born from the very air, its edges made of moving light, its heart hollow, trembling. It was not bright, but soft like candlelight seen through water, and though it had no form one could touch, it felt ancient, as though it had stood there since the beginning of beginnings. He stood before it, the gate of light, and for a long while, he did not breathe. It is said that to stand before the gate is to be seen by it, that the light does not merely shine upon you, but through you. And so it was. As he gazed into it, the wanderer began to see shapes within the glow, not reflections, not illusions, but memories rippling as though beneath thin ice. He saw faces he could not name, streets of glass beneath frozen seas, children laughing in a language older than words, and cities vast, transparent, suspended like lanterns beneath the aurora's breath. He saw hands reaching through time, offering scrolls made of smoke, letters written in wind. And then he saw himself, but not as he was, older perhaps, or younger. It was hard to tell. The reflection breathed, and as it did, the light of the gate shimmered brighter, bending toward him, as though inviting him to cross. His heart trembled. It was there in that moment of quiet threshold that he understood. This was not a passage outward, but inward. Not a gate to another world, but to the echo of his own forgotten being. He took a step closer. The snow beneath him sighed. The light trembled like the surface of a dream. But when his hand reached toward it, the air turned colder. And for the first time, he felt fear not of death, but of dissolving. He realized that to cross was to vanish, to be unmade, to become part of the silence itself. He withdrew his hand. The light flickered once, almost tenderly, and the reflections began to fade. One by one, the faces sank back into the glow. The cities dissolved. The visions curled into mist. Only the shimmer of the aurora remained vast, eternal, indifferent. And then, the gate closed. See, the fade into silence, what the light left behind. When the gate disappeared, the world did not grow darker. It grew still. The snow seemed softer, the stars closer, and the air thick with something unspoken, like gratitude. The wanderer knelt, pressing his hands to the ground. The ice beneath him was warm, faintly pulsing as though the earth itself had a heart, and he had heard it beat. He stayed there until the light faded completely, until the aurora folded itself back into the night, until nothing remained but the sound of his own breath, rising and falling, like waves upon a forgotten shore. When he finally stood, there was no trace of where the gate had been. Only his footprints stretched behind him, already being erased by snow. Some say he vanished soon after. Others claim he returned to the world of men, though changed, his hair streaked with pale green, his eyes reflecting colors no one else could see. He spoke little, but those who met him said that when he paused, when he listened, the air around him would shimmer faintly, as though the light still remembered him. It is said that the gate still appears once in a lifetime, or perhaps once in eternity. No one can predict it. It does not belong to any season or place. It comes only to those who have forgotten what they seek. And when it does not ask to be crossed. It only asks to be witnessed. For some doors are not meant to lead us elsewhere. They are meant to lead us back to the quiet core of our own being, where memory and time dissolve like snow in light. Perhaps in some far-off future, another wanderer will walk that same plain and see a faint shimmer upon the horizon. Perhaps they will stop, and for a breathless moment, feel the pulse of something waiting beyond sight. And perhaps they too will understand what the first wanderer did. That not all mysteries are meant to be entered. Some are meant only to remind us of how vast we are and how small. When the aurora blooms again, when the sky opens like a wound of beauty, listen closely. You may hear it, the faint hum of the gate returning, calling softly to the silence, marking the space between wonder and surrender. It will not speak, it will not command, it will simply be. And if you are still enough, if you let the quiet guide you, you may see it too, a gate of living light, appearing not before you, but within you. And as you watch it fade, you will understand what the wanderer once learned beneath the stars. Some doors are not meant to be crossed, only witnessed, before they fade with the stars. It is said that once, far beyond the reach of roads and reason, there rose a hill that shone faintly under the moon, not with gold nor fire, but with reflection. Its slopes were carved with glass, its stones polished smooth by unseen hands, so that whoever climbed it saw not the world around them, but the endless echo of their own face, rippling like water under starlight. At the summit stood a temple, a place built not for worship, but for listening. They called it the Hill of Mirrors, and at its heart lived an oracle who could see all things, all futures, all fates save her own. Whispers tell us that her temple had no doors, only veils of smoke and silver that shifted like breath. Those who sought her came barefoot through fog that thickened as they climbed, each step carrying the weight of their unspoken questions. By the time they reached the summit, they could no longer tell whether it was the world that trembled or the reflection in the stone beneath their feet. Inside the temple, time did not behave as it should. Candles burned without flame. Incense curled upward, but never faded. And when she spoke, the air itself seemed to bow. Her voice, so they say, was like wind moving through crystal. Soft, endless, unanswerable. It was there that she gave her prophecies, not as commands or riddles, but as gentle unravelings, as though she were simply reminding each soul of what they had always known and had merely forgotten. B. The deepening mystery. The oracle who forgot herself. In the beginning, her visions were endless. Kings and beggars, poets and thieves all came to kneel before her, each carrying a fragment of the same hunger, to know what lay ahead. And she answered them all. She spoke of storms before they were clouds. She whispered of empires that would fall not by war, but by silence. She foretold the day when mountains would remember that they were once oceans. Her words drifted like seeds, taking root in every heart that listened, yet none ever asked about her, for she had no past to tell, no name, no birthplace, no lineage. She was said to have appeared one night upon the hill, as if the glass itself had dreamt her into being. It is said that she never slept, that in the quiet hours when the stars dimmed and even the wind held its breath, she would sit among her mirrors and stare into the hundreds of faces that looked back, all of them her, and none of them her. In those reflections, time folded. She saw herself speaking to those not yet born and walking among ruins not yet built. Sometimes her own reflection would whisper before she did, as though the glass knew her thoughts before she could form them. But as centuries drifted over the hill, the oracle began to change. At first, it was her voice. Her prophecies, once clear as chimes, began to waver, their meanings scattering like ash in wind. She would pause mid-sentence, listening as though someone else were speaking through her. Then came the forgetting. She forgot the names of those who came to her. She forgot the words she had spoken the night before, and slowly, she began to forget herself. When she looked into the mirrors, the faces no longer matched her own. Some were young, some were ancient, some smiled when she did not, some wept for reasons she could not recall. Each night, as the fog crept higher up the hill, she would light the incense, sit in the center of her 1,000 reflections, and ask the silence a question she could no longer voice aloud. No answer ever came. Whispers tell us that near the end, the oracle stopped speaking altogether. Those who still climbed the hill found her seated before her mirrors, her eyes open but distant, as if seeing through the world, rather than within it. When asked their questions, she would only smile faintly and lift one trembling hand toward the air, as if tracing a shape that no one else could see. Then, one night, she spoke again. Her voice was faint, woven with the scent of burning myrrh and rain. She said, "All visions fade." And her words rippled through the mirrors like wind through reeds. Then, softly, almost as though she were speaking to herself, she whispered, "When all words vanish, truth will sing." No one knew what she meant. By dawn, the temple was empty. The pilgrims found only her robe folded neatly upon the glass floor, and a single candle still burning its flame, casting no shadow. See, the fade into silence, the song without a singer. Centuries passed. The fog thickened. The mirrors cracked. The temple sank slowly back into the hill that had given it birth. Now, only fragments remained, shards of glass scattered among moss and wildflowers, each one catching the moonlight like a memory refusing to fade. Travelers who wander that forgotten path say the air still hums faintly, not with words, but with tone, a soft vibration that trembles in the chest, as though the stones themselves are remembering a song too vast to be sung. Some nights, when the wind moves just right, a voice seems to rise from the ruin, not speaking, but breathing through the silence. It is said that those who sleep beside the hill dream strangely. They dream of faces reflected in endless glass. They dream of standing before themselves, asking questions that dissolve before being answered. And always, always they wake with the faintest whisper in their ears. When all words vanish, truth will sing. What truth? What song? No one knows. But perhaps the oracle's final prophecy was not a warning, nor a riddle, but a promise. Perhaps she saw what we cannot. That silence itself is a kind of voice, one that carries deeper than sound. Maybe she understood that to know everything is to lose the one thing that binds us to mystery, our unknowing. That words, though sacred, are veils, and beyond them lies something purer, vaster, unspoken. And so she let the words go. She let the mirrors crack, the temple fall, the hill sink into its own reflection. She became what she had always served, a vessel for the silence that sings when the world finally grows still enough to listen. Even now, when the moon climbs full and the fog folds itself over the valley, the hill glows faintly, as though remembering. If you stand quietly, if you let the night breathe through you, you might hear it a hum beneath the wind, the sound of glass remembering its light. No melody, no voice, only the soft echo of her final words, circling the air like dust caught in candlelight. When all words vanish, truth will sing. And then, silence again. It is said that every prophecy ends the same way, not with thunder, but with stillness. Because every voice, every echo, every whispered prayer eventually folds back into the one sound that began it all, the heartbeat of silence itself. Perhaps that is what the oracle meant. Perhaps truth is not found in speaking, but in listening in, letting the last echo fade until all that remains is light breathing through glass. And maybe, if you listen closely in the quiet before sleep takes you, you will hear it too. Not as sound, but as presence. A song without a singer, a truth without words. The echo of a voice that once said, "When all words vanish, truth will sing." Imagine now the plains of ancient Shinar, before the hum of cities, before ziggurats reached for the sun. The air is heavy with the scent of dust and sleep. The moon, thin as a blade of bone, rests above a land waiting to be named. In the silence before dawn, when shadows still belong to dreams, a single structure gleams upon a hill of pale stone. Priests gather there, their faces veiled in the smoke of cedar and myrrh. They whisper words that do not yet belong to any language, syllables meant to be breathed rather than spoken. At their feet rests the vessel. It is small, smaller than a fishing boat, yet impossibly vast to the heart that beholds it. Its hull is made of something darker than obsidian, but lighter than the thought of night. When torchlight touches it, the flame bends away, shy, unwilling to disturb its calm. Above, its sails shimmer, woven not from thread, but from the imagined fabric of the stars themselves. They glimmer faintly, though the wind is still. It is said the vessel waited centuries for a breath worthy enough to lift it. And tonight, that breath is near. B. The deepening mystery, the vessel rises. The priests form a circle, their voices low and measured. Each chant drifts upward like smoke, twining around the air, calling something ancient awake. Between their palms are small urns, filled not with water, but with light fragments of dawn gathered from the first sun that ever rose. As they lift the urns, the horizon blushes faintly. The sky stirs, and then, a trembling, a hum, almost too soft to hear. The sand beneath the vessel sighs. Some believe it was not sound that moved it, but memory. The memory of creation itself, when the breath of the divine once moved across emptiness. Slowly, impossibly, the vessel rises. Its shadow withdraws from the earth, and for a heartbeat, it seems the stars above are bowing in reflection. The sails unfurl, threads of silver breathing in rhythm with the windless air. There are no oars, no ropes, no cries of command, only stillness vast and sentient. As it ascends, the world below quiets. The priests kneel, the light from their urns flickers out. The rising vessel casts no shadow. It passes beyond the breath of mountains, beyond the reach of any bird. And there, in the trembling blue of pre-dawn, it becomes one with the sky. Whispers tell us that the ship was guided not by compass, but by thought, a living intention, shaped by the harmony of the human heart. Those who saw it disappear said its path curved like a slow exhale, a spiral moving through invisible tides. Perhaps it sailed toward the edge of the known heavens, to where the gods themselves once dreamed. Perhaps it sought the voices that shaped the constellations, those slow, luminous witnesses of eternity. But there are stranger stories still. Some say that the ship found its reflection in the firmament, that for one heartbeat, the sky became an ocean, and the stars turned to waves. They say the vessel glided upon them, weightless, until even its reflection dissolved. Others claim that aboard the vessel were not sailors, but memories every wish ever whispered into the night. It carried the echoes of human longing, prayers half forgotten, songs never finished, hopes too fragile to survive the waking world. If that is true, then the vessel was not made of stone, nor silver, nor any earthly matter. It was made of yearning, and yearning, when pure, can rise even where wings cannot. See, the celestial passage. Now the sky deepens, the stars breathe. A hush falls across creation, like a veil being drawn. High above, where air becomes eternity, the vessel drifts. It passes through constellations like a thought, through the silence between words. The priests below, now only shadows among ruins, sense its distance not by sight, but by the stirring of their hearts. They say the stars brighten that night, as if remembering their first purpose to guide what dares to ascend. The vessel glides past the horns of Taurus, the wings of Cygnus, the eye of Orion, each star pulsing faintly as if greeting a familiar traveler. The heavens hum, low and warm, a music without rhythm, without end. And then something unseen stirs. The vessel reaches the threshold where night becomes light, a place without time, where even the stars pause to listen. Here, the sails begin to dissolve, one thread at a time, like frost melting in dawn's breath. The hull grows translucent, revealing within it a quiet luminescence, as though the vessel itself was never meant to arrive, only to become. Some believe that at that moment, the ship remembered its origin, that it was never a creation of hands, but a promise born of human wonder. It is said that when the vessel finally disappeared, it did not fall, nor fade. It simply exhaled. And that breath became the morning light. D. The fade into silence, the feather of light. When the sun rose over the plains of Mesopotamia, the priests found nothing upon the hill but a circle of cooled glass, etched faintly with spiraling patterns as if sand itself had remembered the motion of ascent. In the center lay a single feather, not of any bird, nor made of gold, but of something purer light shaped into grace. It glowed softly, fading even as they looked upon it. They placed it within a crystal jar and sealed it beneath the temple altar. Generations came and went, kingdoms rose and fell, yet the feather remained dimmer with each century, until it was no more than a whisper of brightness within stone. Now the temple is gone, its name forgotten. Only the wind remains, carrying across the desert a low, endless hum, the echo of a ship that once dared to rise beyond all knowing. It is said that those who dream beneath clear skies may still glimpse it, a faint arc of silver drifting between stars, vanishing when one tries to name it. Perhaps it was never meant to be found. Perhaps it exists only in the quiet rhythm between heartbeat and breath, a reminder that humanity, too, was born to rise, even when tethered to the dust. In the end, what the ancients carved into stone was not a record of flight, but of faith. A faith that the unknown is not emptiness, but invitation. And when night deepens, when silence grows heavy and the stars begin to tremble, listen. You might hear the faint creak of a vessel upon invisible tides, sailing not through sky or sea, but through the vast, luminous expanse of memory itself. A ship woven from silence, carved from wind, guided by the breath of those who dared to dream upward. And when it passes softly, soundlessly, the only trace it leaves is light, a feather, a whisper, infinity breathing in,